You're sleepy. Okay, guys. Hey, I'm only gonna be here for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna come back really, really late when Jacob is asleep and he is getting ready to go to sleep because he came over here and gestured towards laying down, but then he said, "I'm not sleepy," and then he walked away. Um, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to dress a uh, candle tonight. Okay, and I'm gonna come live and do that. I wanted to come at about 8 o'clock, but like I said, so um, like I said, I've been dealing with Jacob for like the past hour. And let me just tell you, it just dawned on me that I've got to take soda out of his diet. So I have to take soda out of Jacob's diet, and then also I'm going to take sugar from him, like any kind of candy or chocolate, like any kind of stimulants and stuff, because I think that um my youngest kids, I'm sorry, my older kids when they were younger, there was a period in time where I took sugar away from them. Now when they went to school, the school kept pushing a bunch of sugar on them. But oh goodness, I'm gonna have to call him right back. So I have not been able to come and do what I've wanted to do live like all day because I've been dealing with Jacob. But let me just tell y'all something. I noticed because I went to the store and I got some Pepsi. Okay. Jacob had a cup of Pepsi, and I bull crap you not. 30 minutes later, he became very aggressive. He became very angry. And first of all, I think Jacob is very caffeine sensitive. So he definitely can't have caffeinated beverages. But like, I'm getting ready to take sugar away from dude altogether. Okay. So, okay, like it dawned on me. I was like, this kid has way too much sugar in his diet. And I had to do this with my older children too when they were younger. But I think that it's a little bit, I think it's like 10 times worse. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna quit buying that stuff. You know, the easiest way to take soda out of your kids' diets? Not buying it. So we're going to be on natural fruit juices and milk and water, and that is it. Jacob cannot take, listen, if you want to really change some stuff within your kids, like I just noticed it, like I swear to y'all, 30 minutes later, he just flipped. So it's like sugar is like crack to kids. Seriously. Like, and I remember before having to take mine off of sugar because they were just, I mean, my older kids, boy, they like for a while, my older kids was just running circles around me. I mean, it was a trip. As soon as I took that sugar, just the behavior changed. Sugar, actually, what I've noticed about Jacob is that sugar and caffeine makes Jacob aggressive. So I think that the first thing that you should do is take them off of that stuff. And then also, like, instead of feeding them like cereals that have unnatural colors in it, like I noticed that when I did that with my kids, like the behavior cleared up a lot. And I actually had some issues with the school. He just drank that caffeine. That's why I didn't want to give it to him. He needs water or milk. Ain't that a trip, y'all? So I'm going to see how he does, but I'm going to try to get him to sleep because he's been going to sleep at a decent hour. but he will fight his sleep. He's been fighting his sleep tonight. So I'll be back a little bit later when he goes to sleep, and I'll be able to do that hangout for y'all. Yeah. So that's why I've noticed, and you know what, since we've been in this room, of course, naturally, we've been probably eating a lot more sugar than we normally would, because normally I don't eat a lot of processed foods. We have been eating like way too many processed foods, probably way too much fast food. I do need to eat a home cooked meal. Like, we are just like literally at the tail end of this freaking nightmare. Oh my God, it is a freaking nightmare. Okay, you do what you got to do sometimes, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have anywhere else to go. Like, I don't have a mother to go to, I don't have a father to go to. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I'm out here on my own. But, I think that is because Jacob has been so weird lately. And I realize that it is because since we've been in this room, we probably have had more processed foods, more sugar. We probably have been drinking soda more often. If I do feed him soda, it will be ginger ale with ice in it. And that will be like after a couple of weeks, like I'm taking sugar away from him, seriously. And I know that it's going to make my life so much easier, because I've been wanting to go live for like the past hour and a half and do some work or whatever. I was going to show you guys how to dress a candle, and I haven't been able to do it because I've been dealing with Jacob. But it's my own fault, because when I went to the store today, I bought some Pepsi, and like literally, lo and behold, and then also sugar, like white sugar, processed sugar, sugar that's in sodas and stuff like that. Like, I'm completely snatching that away from Jacob, because clearly he's way too sensitive and he can't take it. I know that in my 20s, y'all, in my 20s, I had a caffeine sensitivity. So I literally did that to myself, like by giving him that Pepsi. Like, I feel horrible. You should never give your 6-year-old Pepsi or Coca Cola. Like, if you do, make sure that it has ice in it or something, water it down. But don't give that to them at all. Like, especially these kids of these days, because you know how everybody's more sensitive right now. So, and maybe, you know what? I don't need to be drinking soda. I don't need to be drinking it either. Nobody needs to be drinking that stuff. We need to be drinking water and milk and juice, and more water, little, milk, and then juice in that order. Okay. So I'm literally, y'all, I've been doing pretty good nourishing us, because I keep a dozen of eggs. And so I've been making sure that we get our protein, and I'm going to go and get some spinach tomorrow, so that we can have, some resonance of nutrition, because, this is kind of the drawback, with families that have to live in hotel rooms for a little while like we did, is the nutritional aspect of it, especially being that this is not, it's kind of a moot point right now since I'm so close to moving. But I probably should have been in, because there was this extended stay that I stayed in Conyers. They had a full size refrigerator and a stove and a sink and like a little kitchenette. This one doesn't have that. Otherwise, I would have been cooking food and like cooking home cooked meals, because I normally cook. So we have been having way too much. And just like, I feel horrible. Like, I'm like, why did I give that to him? Because I think that it gives them like this response, like your response to caffeine as an adult might not be that bad, but as a 6-year old might be feeling some type of way. And like all of a sudden he just had this meltdown. And then I was like, why did I give him that Pepsi? Stuff like that is kind of a no-brainer. If you're giving your kids crap like that, then it wouldn't be right for you to spank them if they act up, because technically you just gave them a stimulant, and sugar is a stimulant. For a while, y'all, I would not give my kids sugar. I would give them honey. That was the only kind of sugar they would get. And I bought sugar-free cereal. I was dead serious about the situation. I started giving them snacks like plain yogurt, the plain yogurt, not the stuff where they add sugar, just plain yogurt. And I would add my own honey, and I would give them like apples to dip in it. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the problems that you may have with your child, like, try to change their diet first. Okay? Change their diet first, because you know, and I noticed that as soon as he drank that caffeine, he started getting very nervous and agitated. And I was like, oh God, what did I do? Goodness gracious. Am I a bad parent because I accidentally gave my kid Pepsi? No. Sometimes parents do things without thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to beat myself up over it, because trust me, he beat me up over the past hour. Like, he was kicking and screaming. So I think this is something that we should talk about more often. And when I get into my place, I am going to start vlogging what I feed Jacob in a day. And I'm going to see how he does, taking away like I'm going to take away 98% of the sugar that I give to Jacob. And I'm going to see how he does, because we think that kids, their little systems can take it, but they can't. I mean, I think that it's okay for kids to, maybe possibly eat stuff like apple pie, or maybe even cookies, like, oatmeal raisin cookies, or even chocolate chip cookies sometimes. But I think that, giving them stuff like, maybe banana pudding is okay, but just to give them all that sugar, and I think that that's what he's been reacting to. So I'm gonna see how he does. Because at first I was thinking what I was sensing was the energy of diabetes. Because diabetics, if their sugar gets too low or too high, they can have a psychotic episode. Did y'all know that if you are a diabetic, and like hypoglycemic people, and people that like, they'll get really agitated and nervous. So if you are feeling agitated and nervous sometimes, check how much sugar that you've had, and then also check the caffeine that you've had, because maybe you've had too much caffeine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really, really, really gonna do because I was like, what is wrong with my baby? I was like, what is wrong with my little boy? Like, and then I realized, because he'll try to, and for years he's been trying to keep up with my older kids. And my older kids have a tendency to snack and eat sweets and stuff. And so I think pretty much what I'm going to do, not I think, I know, everybody in the house is going to go on a healthier diet. Like, I think that as the woman of the house, as a mother, you have to be able to regulate what your kids eat while they're in your house. Because I think that what they eat, and especially how much sugar they consume, is going to control how they act. So I'm pretty much putting everybody on a healthier diet is basically what I'm doing. No more zoom zooms and wham whams and snacks. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna quit doing all of that. And and even when we move, like I'm gonna have a like certain way that I feed them because y'all just don't know. Like I was so stressed out earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get stressed out about stuff on YouTube. I get stressed out about things that have to do with my kids. Since I got really stressed out, and then Spirit was like, "Well, why are you giving them that caffeine?" Like all of a sudden it dawned on me. It was like a how like when a spirit speaks to you, but you don't really hear them, and then finally when you hear them, so I had like a good ghost come to me and say, "Why did you give him that caffeine? Why are you giving him all of this sugar?" So at the end of the day, when you look at the situation, it's not that you have to take fault in it, but you have to like take a look at what you're doing and just educate yourself that, maybe I think a lot of children eat too much sugar. I remember I was fussing at the school years ago about them feeding my kids too much sugar because they would come home and just be all over the place, just zip, 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 running around like they on drugs or something. So yeah, my kids are they're gonna get definitely a better diet because I've been kind of slipping. And like for me, I'm gonna do um either keto or carnivore diet. So I've been looking at my diet and I've been wanting because I'm definitely not on a low carb diet right now. Definitely not eating pizza, okay? So, but I am gonna, you know, take, I'm gonna cut back on my carbs and go back on my high fat, low carb diet because that's the diet that I feel the best on. That's the diet that I'm at my optimal weight. I feel my healthiest when I'm doing the high fat, low carb. You get to eat eggs, steaks, butter, milk. If you do vegetables, you can do things like cauliflower. You can do like a carb load up where you eat potatoes every once in a while. And so, and then also you can eat a lot of cheese. So that diet actually suits me because I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not allergic to seaweed, so I can eat seaweed, but shellfish I'm allergic to. And people that are allergic to shellfish should definitely drink milk. I'm serious. I mean, it's the best nutrition is that milk, and I really want to start drinking raw milk. To be honest with you, and when I move into my house, I'm gonna make some bone broth. I am going to completely start healing myself by eating good cuts of meat, you know, and getting plenty of exercise and cutting down on my sugar and then as well as the caffeine. I'm about to let this caffeine go, like the coffee and stuff like that. Because even though I'm an adult, I'm probably still kind of caffeine sensitive. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I promise I'll be back a little bit later, though. I'm going to try to give him some water. Like, I offer Jacob water all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, if you be surprised at how just getting your kid to drink water will calm them down and even help them get to sleep. And then I'm gonna offer him some milk too in a few minutes and get him to sleep so he can get some rest. I'm gonna take me a little bit of melatonin to relax myself because I just literally just made the biggest mistake as a parent, and I can admit to it that I gave this kid Pepsi. And I don't, you know what? I think a lot of the autism spectrum symptoms you may want to look at because people do give kids a lot of sugar, and then also the schools are giving your kids a lot of sugar. Y'all got to ask them what they're feeding them. They have way too much sugar. in the schools, which was why Michelle Obama, hello, which was a good thing, she went to the schools and said, hey, this is too much sugar. Okay. So, like around the same time, I noticed that too. And I was like, God, why are my kids acting up? Soon as I took that sugar, the kids was sitting down. They could sit down and do their homework and just get it done. It what you know what I'm saying? But they would charge the kids up with sugar all day at school, giving them donuts for breakfast and stuff like that. Yes, you are right, into the Don. I will never give this to my children again. Never, never. I feel so horrible, especially little sensitive children, should not have stuff like that. And even those little how you can buy like the little fruit juices like Hawaiian punch, all of those have way too much sugar in it, way too much for these kids. They're overstimulated with sugar. And I think I had that wake up call when I think Daniela was like 5, and she was just zip, 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 ripping and running. Just, just like, are you okay? you know? And, so yeah. So and it's been emotional. I actually just broke down and cried a few minutes ago. I had a mommy moment where I just had to break down and cry. And it was really healthy because then it dawned on me. It was like, yeah, yeah, you're right. You were right about that. I think that sugar is okay in small amounts. I think that if they're eating chips, if they're eating bread, if they're eating a lot of those hidden sugars as well, and then on top of it, we're giving them soda and then candy and then cereal. I think that that's too much for little kids, you know? And I knew that, but when you're busy and you're doing things and you just got to kind of sit back and think for a second about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to the grocery store, I always get those seaweed snacks, and Jacob loves those. And I make sure that I feed them a balance of protein too. And I try to do the best that I can with that. But, I think that cutting out the sugar, because I've got to sit down and be able to, because I haven't even really been able to sit down and finish you know, my readings. I haven't even been able to do that. If you guys notice that sometimes I won't upload my readings, in their entirety, please forgive me. Seriously, please forgive me for doing that because I've been dealing with him, but I've just been dealing with my own stupidity and mistakes, is what I've been doing. I shouldn't have been, because he had, so I didn't want to give him any more of the soda, and I'm going to hide it. But Ty went ahead and gave him like a little small amount, and you can even tell how he's reacting to it. So it kind of it really makes me want to hug him and apologize to him and say, Mommy is sorry because Mommy has been giving you the wrong thing. I shouldn't have been giving you, all of that sugar, let alone caffeine. I think the caffeine just pushed him over the edge. So, yeah. Anyways, one of those things. Hey, I'm very transparent. I can admit when I've made a mistake, you know? And literally the problem was right under my nose, and I was so busy, focused on, getting moved into the house and everything. But at the same time, I was making things harder on myself because and so what I've been doing is I've been taking him outside. You know what I'm saying? I took him and I bought him some new shoes and stuff, and so that he can, we can go outside and run around because He literally had a growth spurt right after we moved in here, or right after we left. Like he had a big growth spurt, so he like couldn't fit nothing. So I went shopping and got him some clothes and some shoes. And so I take him outside. I try to take him outside so that he can run around or whatever. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. I could do a juicer. Yeah. I'm definitely going to start giving them more natural fruit juices like apple juice, orange juice. I usually do. But, it's like for some reason like the past couple of months, I've been just getting it, we have been drinking a lot of soda. And like shortly afterwards, like probably like maybe a week after, the dietary change is when the like this other personality came out of Jacob, and I couldn't even really recognize him. I was like, what is wrong with my baby? I was literally like, what is wrong with my baby? Cause and I've been having to, just kind of, tell him like, hey, you better stop doing that or else, you're gonna get in trouble. I've been having to do that more often because normally I don't really have to say nothing to Jacob. Normally Jacob just be off doing his own thing, but he's been telling me in his own little way that he's been getting way too much sugar and crap. And they say that gluten could be a problem too. Y'all hear about gluten? They say that gluten could be bad for kids too. Yeah, you can ask away. Excuse me. It's cold in this room. We need to turn the heat on. Anyway, y'all, I wasn't going to be here that long. I just wanted to tell you guys that I'll be back later. And that I've been meaning to come on here. But I wanted to tell you guys, any of y'all that have been having issues with your kids, please look at their diet and at least try that. Okay? Because I noticed that, when I did that before, like it was like my household was literally less chaotic. When I took that sugar away, the chaos went away. Okay?
Oh my.
Oh my God, what? Anyway, guys, I love you guys. I'll let you guys know if it's improved with him. I'll let you guys know. Like, what happens or whatever, because some people have been saying, oh, you probably need to get him on medication or something like that. And it's like, that's really probably not always necessary. I know that for my older ones, I just took away sugar and their bad behavior went away. Okay.
It's not working. It's not working.
I know, baby. Hold on.
There's no way to blink.
All right. You gonna say bye, Jacob? Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Say I love you.
I love you.
Oh, you said you're gluten intolerant? Look, I'm still here. Because I want to go live, y'all. I've been trying to go live for like the past 2 hours. Anyway, y'all, I'll see y'all later. Bye. Love and light.